Hello, friends. Today we have a very special addition to the channel. This is my
Very
good friend
special.
Apoc.
What's up,
Say
guys?
hi.
What's up, you jealous haters?
Yes, it's our favorite jealous hater, Apoc. We have done a collab on his channel, so now we're doing a collab on my channel. It'll be linked down below, so go ahead and make sure that you check that out and subscribe to his channel.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
today we are talking, reacting to these clips from Kyra's podcast, which are very cringy
I was
and
about to say
very
the same thing.
awkward.
Very, very, very cringy.
Very uncomfortable. I'm not sure how much intellectual, commentary we'll be able to provide, but I kind of just want to laugh at it because it's out of this world. So we're gonna play some clips and then we're gonna react to them.
I find it funny though because I remember Oscar said that Kyra makes people comfortable when talking about this subject,
Yeah.
but to be honest, it's the opposite effect.
It's like listening to two like teenage girls like read Teen Vogue and giggle about the article on kissing. It's like very much that vibe. So
we have the X.
We have the X. Officially the X.
Wait. That's gonna need an explanation.
No, it doesn't. That's the ex. We still love him though. That is baby daddy of 4. Love him so much. So cute.
Oscar
okay, maybe on
Morales.
YouTube, Oscar Morales.
Let's keep in mind here that this clip is from a podcast that was the same exact day as their breakup.
Yep. They even mention it at one point that they had just uploaded the video. So it's definitely the same day. They had just filmed it that day. And also they mentioned in the podcast that they had been drinking for like 5 hours, which probably contributed to some of the tense moments and the really awkward and cringy moments. But it's bold for sure to film that video and then go on to this podcast and do basically the same thing for another hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's super weird, man. Like, I just can't imagine breaking up with somebody and then just, hey, maybe in an hour or two, you want to come and talk about, sex and what we've done in the bedroom and what we're going to do to other people.
That's what the podcast is all about is, intimate relationships and, adult intimacy and all that stuff. So it was, I personally would never, ever do this. I would be like, you're on your own for this one, girly. Sorry, can't help you.
Yeah.
Find somebody else.
She's totally giving off the same vibes from the breakup video too. She still has the same exact energy. I mean, maybe she was tipsy in the breakup video too. It was just insane, but she's giving off the same exact energy from that video. This is somebody who said that she was sad about breaking up. But how can you just hop into the podcast and talk about these things with the guy you were with for 7 years after you literally just broke up? And then you're just talking casually about it. It blows my mind. It just goes to show that she did not give a damn about Oscar at all.
Oh, yeah. And she's like laughing in his face and she's making all these jokes and everything. And, that may be in like trying to poke fun and just like kind of try to keep the mood light, but the tone of what she's saying does not fit the tone of the situation. And Oscar doesn't, at least in this point in the breakup, Oscar was not reciprocating that energy at all. And he doesn't reciprocate it in this podcast. That energy is definitely picked up by Preston, who was just over Kyra shit this entire podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
It was, man, it's rough. It's rough. I don't know how they sat through an hour and 40 minutes of doing this and dealing with it because I would have been out of there.
Kyra's all fine and she's laughing and all giddy. But then when Oscar or even sometimes Preston, when they said something that she didn't like, her mood just went south real quick. She changed her tune so fast when Oscar said something that he genuinely feels per se about a partner or whatever, or experiences with a partner. And maybe it's because she didn't experience that stuff with Kyra. I don't know. But like the thing is Kyra's the one that broke up with Oscar for whatever reason, but then she's going to shit on him for how he feels. And she did it. This is like the second time she did it, from the breakup video to now this podcast monstrosity.
I feel like it's disingenuous to even call it a podcast. There's no structure. Everybody's screaming over each other. There's like adjustment. Like it's just so unprofessional. I'm not surprised this isn't like a at least from what I've seen, not like the most viral, popular, well watched and listened to podcast.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's on par with KK and Baby J's podcast, which that's a whole mess on its own, and that says a lot too because their podcast is just dog shit. And I think they made a big mistake by making it all about sex, because there's only so much you can say,
and they're not really that qualified.
No, exactly. Yeah, they don't.
Like
they also, again, don't talk about it in a mature way at all. They sound like teenagers.
Oh yeah, they're like tee hee hee penis, tee hee hee sex. It's like if you're gonna make an entire podcast talking about adult intimacy, their tagline is making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Yeah.
When are you going to start doing that, Kyra? Like she seems very uncomfortable talking about it. And I think that she wants to present herself. And I think she wants to put this image out that she is a very like sensual person because she just wants to be perceived as that. She's not really owning it. And I don't think she even really believes it. I think she really wants to believe it, but I don't think that I don't think she is comfortable at all in this. And, maybe she does just need more experience and she needs, to have these different experiences and figure out, what's comfortable, what she likes, who she is as far as, this aspect of her personality.
So I caught her on an Instagram live just an hour ago or whatever. And she was saying something about OnlyFans and saying that she wants to start one, but probably won't because, she's just that type of person that just doesn't go through with things. But I just think it comes down to her not having the demographic, not being confident enough, and just, I don't know, she's also finding every excuse in the book not to. I believe she wants to, or she believes she wants to, and believes she wants to, do something like this because it's relatable to like what she's been doing or it correlates to the podcast or whatever. But I don't really understand what's really holding her back because she's been teasing this OnlyFans thing for months now and hasn't produced anything.
Yeah, I feel like she's the kind of person. Have you ever met somebody that's like they want to be invited to the party even though they know that they're not going to go and they're going to decline the invite? It's like she just wants to feel like if she really wanted to, that she could.
Yeah, exactly. And that's maybe what she's doing. She might just be like, I'm just going to keep saying it, acting like I can do it, and then I'm not actually going to go through with it.
Yeah, and you know what? I bet the comments that she gets and the responses of the yes, queen, like do it, snaps, like girl boss energy, all that stuff, I have no doubt that probably does inflate her ego a little bit as well.
But like I said in our last video together, that she threw shade at her community and told them to fuck off basically, and says she doesn't need any of them. And so it's like, well, if that's the case, they're not going to follow you anywhere and they're not going to support you anywhere. So even if you wanted to do it, no one's going to show up.
They're not going to keep putting money in your pockets if you tell them to go away and stop watching.
Our house. I know we're exes and stuff.
Okay. Can you guys give us an explanation?
It's like half Kyra's, half Oscar's.
Give us 50-50, but like
because the last
it depends
time...
who worked more today.
Whoa.
Amy.
So this is our Oscar's office.
Okay.
So we are in Oscar's loft.
Pause, guys. This is not a therapy session right now. This is Beneath the Sheets
Wait,
podcast.
are you sure?
We're going to talk about sex. So you guys can...
You're not therapist Hannah. Wait, you
Oh,
should
I
have told me
can.
this
Fuck
before
no.
because
Wait,
I didn't.
hold up. I'm divorced technically.
Give us an explanation. Last time we heard from you here, you guys were together and fine and having sex and all the things. So what happened?
Go to OKBaby.com.
Just,
yes.
YouTube. Like,
Do you
we don't
really-
need to talk about this
yeah.
right now.
No, not a deep things. Just this life happens, and now
And,
they are now exes.
Yeah, life happened.
Baby daddy and baby mama.
Kyra dumped me.
Oh my
I love.
God.
Guys, honestly, that's okay that he says that. I think it helps him feel better, and I'm for it. But yes, we did split up.
And
Call
yeah.
me in 6 months to ask how it's going, and I think we're
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I think we're great actually.
I agree.
Considering just everything that happened, this is pretty good.
We actually just uploaded our breakup video today, so it's fresh.
Well, it's
Yes,
fresh
we did.
for the
A lot in that one.
So yeah, that was a lot. She said that they uploaded it, the breakup video that day. It actually kind of gets worse because they filmed the breakup video, edited it, threw it up online, the same day that they recorded it, and then hopped on the podcast and did the same thing. Bro, what the hell? I mean, they may have uploaded the podcast however long after, but which I don't even know how long it was after the breakup video, but she just said that they recorded the breakup video and threw it up online that same day. That's weird.
So, I mean, what I was saying in, the collab on your channel, I said this like a million times, is that it seemed like they didn't even watch it back. They just like recorded it, made a few jump cuts. Obviously, some things got left in that probably should not have been left in. And they were just like,
a lot of things.
click, post, everything's fine. No one's going to hate me. No one's going to give me criticism. It's all good. I have a couple thoughts on this clip. First of all, I really truly despise this like smarmy joke that Kyra tries to make when Hannah is trying to rein her in, saying like, oh, let's not get too far into it. People probably just want like a baseline explanation, give, are you guys amicable? And then she's like, oh, this isn't therapy, let's not get too into it, because obviously Kyra can just go off, and then Kyra hits her back with this like, oh, you're not therapist Hannah? Like, you're not? I thought, like, what are you doing then? Like, I thought you were a therapist Hannah. Like, so that like maybe their relationship and their friendship being able to poke jokes at each other, but it seemed like a genuine lighthearted attempt on Hannah's end to try to like rein Kyra in. And then Kyra responds with that. And I just like rolled my eyes at it. It was like, it wasn't even funny. It wasn't funny. And then it just also felt like really bitchy, which in the context of the rest of this podcast is going to seem extra bitchy.
When Preston was like, saying that we don't need to, just go to the Okay Baby Family channel and watch it. We don't need to get into that stuff right now. I think that Oscar and Kyra talking about it was making Hannah and Preston uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I definitely got that vibe for sure.
Yeah, Preston, like, basically from the jump seems pretty uncomfortable. And this is total speculation, but I have a feeling if they were recording the breakup video, that Hannah and Preston probably were already at the house. Because at one point in the podcast, they say, oh, we're supposed to record this 5.5 hours ago.
Yeah.
So, that they may have been who was watching the kids. And I assume that their entire day has been surrounded by Oscar Kyra breakup.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was about to say, too, was they were probably watching the damn kids while, Oscar and Kyra were finally talking to each other for once on camera.
Oh, yeah. And then the thing about Kyra saying, well, it just makes Oscar feel good to say that I dumped him. If that's what he says to like make himself feel better. Well, you did dump him. What do you mean he's saying that to make himself feel better? He's not misrepresenting the truth. That is what happened.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happened. He's not
like,
he's not you, Kyra. He doesn't do things like that. Kyra was trying to like sabotage their relationship, saying that she didn't want the guilt of being the one to break up. So she was trying to put that guilt on Oscar. So Kyra's actually somebody who would do something like that, and Oscar wasn't, because guess what? Kyra did it and Oscar didn't.
The thing at the end of her saying like, oh, well, I think we're, it was a 50-50 thing and like we're good and we're split, which I also find it interesting that she says like, oh, well, Oscar just says that I dumped him to make himself feel better, and then she goes on to say, so we did split. She doesn't confirm or deny that she did dump him. She uses that like kind of vague deflection language, which is like not the biggest issue, but it's still interesting because she obviously probably is still holding on to that like sabotage the relationship mentality a little bit, and wants in her mind to ease her cognitive dissonance. She wants Oscar to have some sort of stake in the breakup, when really he just was kind of sitting there, and then she hit him with this out of the blue, which they have both said.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a not fun moment, and this is like the very beginning of the podcast, and it's only gonna get worse.
Like, who knows? Maybe you guys will give them some tips on how to be like friends with benefits.
We're learning.
Be
friends with benefits.
Co-parenting, not together, but like who knows?
Like friends that have been together for a long time, they're learning to be friends after being together.
Yeah, adding a new dynamic here.
But I thought they were best friends before. Didn't Kyra go on about in one of the videos, one of the breakup videos of the Q&A, whatever? Like, didn't she go on about how they're best friends? About how they're
best friends? Some way they were too good of friends.
Yeah. basically saying that Oscar is has great character, he's a great partner, great father, everything, all these accolades. Now you're saying that you weren't friends. How come you got to learn to be friends if you already were best friends to begin with?
And
This makes no sense.
she constantly flips flop. I said this in, our other video, but like whatever Kyra needs to say in the moment to appease what she thinks, people are thinking about it, she's going to say it, even if that contradicts something that she had previously said, because she constantly goes from Oscar's a great guy and we're great friends. We were too good of friends and it just didn't feel like a relationship. And we were, so friendly and platonic. It was like we were platonic roommates. And then when they announced that she's moving out, then it's, oh, well, we're so volatile. We can't even be in the same house. Like, we're friends, but we're not good friends right now. And it's like, so which one is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Which one is it? Is Oscar super great, or can you not stop fighting with him?
Yeah, I know. And that's how I kind of felt about like the breakup video itself and the breakup Q&A video, and even like the life update. Each one had its own like different energy. In the breakup video, Kyra was all giddy, happy, jump around, singing songs, cracking jokes. Oscar like said 2 words, and then the next video, Oscar talked a little bit more. I think he was starting to get a little more comfortable and was starting to get used to it a little bit. And then Kyra cried, but she I don't know, to me it seems like it was a pity party. And then the life update was again Oscar was he was giving off major Kyra vibes from the first video, and then Kyra was the one quiet and not saying much and upset, and that was just due to all the backlash. In all the videos they were just flip-flopping, both of them. And in the breakup video, Kyra made it seem like she had all these issues with Oscar. And then when it came to the breakup Q&A, she actually hyped Oscar up and said that he wasn't a problem and said she was doing it for herself. So her first excuse was they were unhappy, blah, blah, blah. The second video was, no, guys, I actually was happy with him and we were and we are best friends, but I need to do this for myself to find love again or whatever. I don't know. It's so ass backwards. She can't make up her mind on any of the excuses that she has.
Yeah. Oh, and Hannah's saying oh, you can give co-parenting tips. When, bitch.
Yeah, when?
Because they're
how
from what they've shown us and told us, it doesn't seem, maybe things are calming down now that Kyra's moved out, but it was dicey there for a minute. It didn't seem like there was a whole lot of stability in that transitional period, which is, I would argue, is a really big thing that a lot of people who are separating and their family is, becoming two, that they probably need tips in that moment.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to come to OK Baby to get tips on that.
They shouldn't give any tips to anyone about anything because they don't know anything. They're both extremely ignorant and naive. They literally are just winging it at life. And then look at their situation now. Both of them are worried about their futures.
I know that their fan base is probably young, because I feel like most of the people that are still watching family vloggers are either very long time fans that have been watching them for 7 years since they started and they feel like a devotion and a loyalty to them, or they're younger, whether they're children or teenagers or whatever. So I really hope that people wouldn't watch this and be like, this is the right thing to do, fingers crossed. I can only hope that nobody is influenced and saying, oh, well, look how well they handled it, because they didn't handle it well, but their judgment on it may be clouded by the perception that they have of Kyra and Oscar.
Exactly. Yes.
I feel like words are the worst form of communication. Body language and actions speak.
Actions speak louder than words.
Absolutely, no, but also
nope, that's some bullshit.
Only
I understand the concept that anybody can say anything, and that's why words don't mean as much as actions. Shut the fuck up and let me talk. I get it. You can do that for anybody, and I think if you sit there and you intimately listen to me and you talk to me and you understand me,
that's an action.
Sure, fine.
Because if I'm just telling you, hey, I love you, but I'm not listening to you, I'm not doing all these things for you, that means I don't really care for you.
Right.
I guess that's true, but you can fake that for anybody.
Bro, what the hell is she on? Oscar, what Oscar just said, look, I don't even like Oscar. And what Oscar just said was so true. Actions speak way louder than words, because you can just literally say anything. I can say, I love to work out, right? Let's just say that. But if I don't work out, if I don't take the action of working out, then I don't really love it, right?
Yeah.
My brother, his dad is a piece of shit, piece of fucking filth on the earth. And he tells my brother, his son, that he loves him. The dude has not done shit for him. So words mean nothing. And I just don't really understand how Kyra doesn't like grasp that concept, because it's like, well, Kyra, you love your kids, right? Okay, well, you can say you love your kids, but what do you do for your kids that shows that you love them? When you care about somebody, you care about your partner or care about somebody else, like your children, you take actions to show. You even do little things like, one a saying is little things matter most.
Yeah, this is just essentially like, and I do agree that Oscar is more correct here. And trust me, he ain't no gem of a man, but
Yeah.
he's not wrong about this.
No, not at all.
But this is like so blatantly. I included this clip because it is, first of all, Kyra like snaps and tells him to shut the fuck up. Which
what
was
is that?
I don't know if she thought she was being like quirky and like bossy.
But why the hell
and
she gets so
demanding.
mad?
I know. Well, here's why. The reason I included this clip is because this is so blatantly just airing out their dirty laundry under the guise of this just being a general question. Like, her little actions speak louder than words. To me, that signifies that she has heard this time and time again from Oscar and that she's tired of hearing it from him. Like, you don't react like that to somebody. Like, if you said that to me, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, Apoc, actions speak louder than words. Like, there's history, there's something beneath that.
Yeah, exactly.
This whole section.
Absolutely. But, let's say like Kyra believes words mean more than actions. Okay, let's just say that's what she believes, and we can say that's valid. She could literally just go, well, I believe it's like this. But she straight up did not like that at all, because from what I saw, Kyra got mad because she wants Oscar to like say things rather than do them. If he tells you he loves you, like, that's cool. People like hearing that, especially women. They like hearing that their partner cares for them. But, with my wife, actions matter the most. Words are important, absolutely, but actions like back up those words, because you can literally say anything. There's people out there who say they love their kids and then they beat them.
Often in relationships, there's a lot of basis and foundation of a relationship in like love languages, which I'm sure like most people are familiar with that concept. Like, my personal love language is like words of affirmation. So I do value words, but I also see that like my love language is words of affirmation, but the love language that I put out, how I make people feel loved and valued, is acts of service, especially food, because I'm an Italian bitch. So I cook for everybody. Like, if I cook for you, I really love you. Like, I want to feed you. I want to make you feel good. I want to give you something delicious. Yeah, like I want to do that for you. I want to, I want to fold your laundry, and I want to take care of things so that you don't have to do that.
Right, and that's an action. That's an
action. So it seems a lot like in this clip that she's really trying to like domineer Oscar and put it out there that she's right in this, just because that was, from what I'm gathering from this, probably a fault in their relationship, was this lack of connection on their love languages. And even though I don't think Oscar is wrong, it's obviously like really bothering Kyra, and they probably had this conversation a lot.
You're totally right when Kyra just doesn't really want to be wrong. But the problem is that all of them, Hannah, Preston, Oscar, all of them were in agreement, to Oscar. Of course, Oscar's agreeing with himself, but Hannah and Preston agreed with Oscar. So it's 3 versus 1. Kyra, you are wrong with what you say. If that's what she believes, okay. But just because you believe it doesn't mean it's true or a fact. Because again, you can literally say anything you want, but if you don't do those things, then you're just saying word. Like you said, you like to cook food, and that's how you show that you care for someone. You said that here, but if you don't actually apply that within your real life, then that would just make you a liar.
Talking takes very little energy. That's why I do it so much. But like actions, you have to take time to do the dishes. You have to put in physical effort to do things. So,
and those things nobody wants to do, taking out the garbage, doing the dishes, wiping down the counters, sweeping and mopping the floor, taking out the dogs to go pee and potty. Like nobody wants to do those things, but those are like responsibilities. Like you said, you like words of affirmations, and that's what you like.
Yeah. And to me, it seems like Kyra is obviously words are very important to her, which I can sympathize with. But because I am a mature person in a good, stable relationship, I also don't turn a blind eye to anything that's not words. I don't just choose to not acknowledge it as something that's valuable just because it's not the thing that's most valuable to me. And I think that that's really just all on Kyra. Like, Oscar can't read her mind, you know?
I think I've said before, like, if I come home and she's making dinner.
No, you gotta give a
different one.
Okay, I know, I'm saying, like,
should I be making dinner in my apron naked?
No,
topless?
She's not home. You're just newly dating her. She can't do your laundry and cook your dinner.
No, I know.
So what's, like, new?
I was just kind of reiterating
yes,
stuff. Like, that stuff. I think, like, but hey,
listen. I think the way I ever read any of you is wrong.
He's gonna kill us. I could just see his face.
Do you see why we get so fucking pissed off? Is because we try to explain something. This is supposed to be the boys' episode.
Man.
I mean, she was putting the pressure on Preston.
She really was. I felt, I don't really know that much about Preston, so I can't really make a judgment and like form informed opinion about what I think about him. But I felt for him in this moment because I have been in situations where somebody is just dogging you like crazy, and you're like, "Will you just let me talk, please?"
Yeah, that's what Kyra was doing to like him and Oscar. That she was just hounding him. She wouldn't get off his ass.
I know, I'm like, girl, that's not your boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
let Hannah handle this. Damn.
So weird that Kyra feels so comfortable talking to other people like this with no regard towards like them at all. Like, she has no respect for anyone.
I just had to include it because his face he's not hiding his emotions well.
He's annoyed.
Is so annoyed. I didn't cherry pick this. He looked this way through basically the whole thing, and it progressively got worse of him looking annoyed. But if I included every single clip of that, we would be here all day. It was a very uncomfy moment because also it's that she, if you're acting a certain type of way, I really like to talk, and I like to talk really loudly. So something that I've had to work on. Shut up. Something that I've had to work on is shutting my damn mouth and listening and letting other people speak. Because if I have the right to speak, they have the right to speak.
Right.
So in the times where, maybe I'm not as perceptive and I'm not anticipating, controlling myself like that, I can at least look at how the other person is reacting and then adjust myself. Kyra doesn't give a single fuck. And then Hannah was like, oh my gosh, he's going to kill us. I can see it in his face. Yeah, you're being super annoying.
You already know that, like, when it comes to YouTubers, that people who kind of like leech onto them, like Hannah and Preston, like are doing or whatever, but they always just suck ass. They're always brown nosing these people, and they just let them walk all over them, and then they'll go like maybe talk shit or something behind their backs. But bro, if anybody ever talked to me like that, dude, I just like either leave the room or they're gonna get an earful. I've noticed that with a lot of YouTubers, is that like their friends, their so-called friends that they have around for however long until they get wise and leave. Like, I even have had a YouTuber friend, a big YouTuber friend that I know in real life, that was my friend for like a decade, and I don't talk to him anymore because he's toxic like Kyra. He wanted me to suck ass, but I ain't doing that, man. Maybe if I did, I could be higher in subs, higher in views, made more money, but I ain't about that, man. You ain't gonna sell me out.
Yeah, it's pretty typical of, content creators. And I think there's like a special brand of it for family vloggers, but I think it does apply like to the general populace of content creators, that you kind of surround yourself with yes men, and not in the way that it's just like you get along and you have, chemistry. It's that like anything, especially in this podcast, anything that Kyra says, Hannah basically goes with. And anytime that Hannah does try to push back something or rein Kyra in, like we saw earlier, Kyra gives her some sass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, Hannah's trying to be a real friend, and she's trying to make this podcast somewhat listenable. And Kyra just doesn't care. She sees it and she just like, no, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. There's definitely some sort of like sycophant where people like this, they want to just keep their inner circle, and usually the people are just like happy to be there. They're happy to be famous. They're happy to be seen and have attention from somebody that feels important.
Exactly.
That's why we're friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh no. Oh, believe me, I know. No.
I don't know much about Preston, but this was uncomfy for sure.
Oh yeah. Kyra makes people uncomfortable all around, man. Like in any topic.
Honestly, I know this is a sex podcast, but in general, she does come off a little bit brutish, I guess. Like she's a little crass. Another personality trait that I share with Kyra, I also have to rein myself in to not be so abrasive because not everybody likes what I have to say. And I think, well, maybe it's not a problem with them. Maybe it's a problem with me.
Yeah.
Kyra, I think you could learn a lot from me, girl. Like, I
She
could be
learn
your
a lot
PR
from
manager.
a lot of exactly, but she can learn a lot from a lot of people, but she just doesn't retain anything because again, she's admitted that she has an ego and that she doesn't want to be wrong. So Kyra will not listen to anything. I mean, she's called, again, we've said this before, she called my channel factual, but doesn't want to listen to the videos that I have on her because she knows that they're going to be true and doesn't want to hear it and doesn't want to retain anything that we say, you know. And I understand sometimes these videos, my videos, they can be blunt and brash and sometimes even downright harsh, you know, because it's reality and the truth hurts, and she does not want to hear it, and she doesn't want to entertain truth at all, logic at all, rationale at all. She just wants to live in her own reality where Kyra is queen and never wrong and everybody else is her little peasants.
She kind of essentially pays people to be around her.
Yeah, no,
you know, Hannah
definitely.
was a nanny.
Yeah,
you know? And then she does this podcast.
Kyla was a nanny, and Kyla held the vlog camera when Alyssa and her were friends, because I don't think they're friends anymore because they don't mention each other or go near each other or anything. But
and she used to be in that channel heavy. She was always there.
Oh yeah,
always.
but she's not there anymore. They don't mention each other. Yeah, they're done. It's obvious. And even Kyra has said before in the podcast that people have seen friendships that she's had with people that don't exist anymore. I think she's talking about Karen. She's talking about Kyla. She's talking about Alyssa, and eventually Hannah will go too. And she'll just try to find somebody else, or she just won't have anybody else left. I mean, if Hannah left, they weren't best friends anymore or whatever. Like, I don't know who the hell would take her place, because for what it looks like, she's the last one. That's the last one. And then after that, Kyra won't have any best friends to hop on. I mean, maybe she'll hop on the Jess fam train. There's only so many people that are going to deal with Kyra's toxicity. And I don't know. This is definitely the downfall of Kyra for sure.
If you look at the reasons why, okay, this person constantly has people coming in and out of their lives and they never really stick around for one reason or another. Sure, there are extenuating circumstances in some cases, but who's the common denominator? You know, when you look and there's just like a wake of people behind them that no longer associate with them, at least publicly, when they were previously very heavily featured, you know, in Kyra's content and everything, you kind of go, why is that?
Kyra was talking about friendships on Instagram Live, and she was saying something about how like people around her are toxic. Like she said, her and Oscar are having problems with people that keep coming into their life that are toxic, and they said that it's becoming like a pattern for them, and they're like starting to question if they're actually the toxic ones. It's like, yes, you guys are the toxic ones, or at least you, Kyra.
A glimmering moment of self-reflection. If
seriously,
only she could to that.
Okay, well then I guess I'm doing my job.
Turn-ons, and this is not. How do we want to do this? Sexually
not
or in a relationship?
Sexual. Do just like in general.
You just coughed on me. I felt the breath in my ear.
Didn't cough on you.
My hair winded.
You're bullshitting.
If you zoom in on that clip, replay. I just felt the breeze.
No. Nope.
Sickos.
That's not my. Okay, don't cough on me. Next.
You can totally tell that like this, so it wasn't just, I mean, you know, the tipsiness definitely, you know, was there, but you can tell that Preston was still annoyed with Kyra, and Kyra was annoyed with Preston for her dumb reasons. I mean, Preston had his reasons, and they were valid good reasons. There's some tension going on in that room right now for sure. I think maybe Preston should like move to another seat or something.
When this podcast got posted, a lot of people were theorizing that Preston may have had some role in the breakup as far as interacting with Kyra. Yeah. And from this clip, I can almost kind of see what they're talking about, because most people would like to not interpret this as like a negative interaction. They would probably you know, excuse, oh, they're being friendly, like, you know, they're just poking fun, they're jabbing at each other, whatever. Also, I looked at that clip many times. There was no whooshing of any hair of him coughing on her at all.
She's just being dramatic.
She's just being dramatic. And I think that she, at this point, was starting to sense that Preston was so over it. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
she just
You
digs
felt
it
that.
in more. She just
Yeah.
like, twists the knife a little bit. And I'm like, leave this poor man alone. He is so done with you. He doesn't want this joke interaction. Because I really do think that in some ways, Kyra thinks she's being funny.
Mhm.
But like a joke or some sort of like comedic delivery, it has to have certain elements to it so that it's perceived as a joke.
Nope.
I know this is like 2 Preston clips in a row, but oh man, it was so entertaining. If I could just make a video and just like speed it up and remove all the audio and just zoom in on Preston's face, it would tell an entire story. You don't
Yeah.
even need the conversation.
No, you can just tell something's there, man.
Yeah, he was not loving it. And Oscar was pretty during the podcast, he was also pretty quiet and, he's looking around a lot and kind of spacey looking, which Kyra says is just his personality.
Or, they, just about the breakup video that 20 minutes ago,
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. Like, it's probably not the best time to go on there and try to act all buddy. Like, again,
Right?
I'm like, Kyra, have some self-awareness, be
Mhm.
a little bit observant and try to take account, like take stock of everybody around you and how they're feeling and how they're reacting to things. If you're
Mhm.
seeing that Preston's not in a ha hee hee mood, don't go there with him.
It's just common sense that something was going on in that room. Kyra cannot say that she not feel that energy in that room was going south real quick. There's no way she didn't see that. And I definitely think she did what you said she did, was just dig the knife in deeper, which is exactly what she's done with everything before and like proceeding after all of this. She digs the knife in deeper. I mean, just imagine what we don't see that's off camera. It's a lot worse.
I mean, the hole in the door. She punched a hole in the door.
A lot of people thought it was Oscar. Yeah, a lot of people thought it was Oscar because she talked about how Oscar has like his anger issues. But then we've come to find out that she's the one punching holes in like a door.
Yeah, self-admittedly.
There's no proof that Oscar was the one punching holes in walls or doors or anything like that. Kyra was the one showing that she had the anger issues.
Yeah, and I do think that Oscar can get angry. Like,
Yeah.
I do think that he does have a real hot head and a really bad temper on him.
I could see that too, yeah.
Most people, when you look at a man and a woman in a relationship and or have been told that the man has anger issues, it's almost kind of impossible just because of the implications to not feel sympathetic to the woman. But,
yeah, exactly.
I said this in, I think, my first Okay Baby video, but I was like, look, they are both assholes in their own ways. Like, neither of them are perfect.
Nope.
In some ways, I'm super glad that they're gone, but in other ways I'm like, you kind of deserve each other. So it's,
I know, right? Yeah.
it kind of felt like she was digging on Oscar a little bit, and then she saw Oscar's reaction to it and then kind of shifted her attention towards Preston and started digging in on him because
I know. She's like, I'm gonna get both of them.
Yeah, like her and Oscar were fighting a little bit and she's like, oh shit, I don't want to say Oscar to say some shit that's like gonna really make me look bad.
Yeah, exactly.
And then kind of switched to Preston, who, like, I mean, what's he gonna say?
No, but he was a little sassy.
He was definitely a little sassy. He was
like
trying
that.
to stick up for himself.
I mean, at least there's that, I mean, at least he's not,
Yeah. At least he stands by his convictions. Because everybody in the comments, if he, if he were to like really stand up to her in like a, in a stern way, all the comments would probably say, oh my gosh, like Preston's totally on Oscar's side and they're being so mean to Kyra and blah, 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 and all this stuff. Ugh, it's so annoying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's how it would turn. That's how communities are, man. They can be that
they're
way.
fickle.
That's why I try to weed out those people within my community, because I know that there's people that will like have their biases towards others, but like I try to trickle those types out of my community because I want people in my community to have open minds about everything. Like, I don't want people to think that, Apoc can't be wrong. I want them to be like, okay, Apoc has facts, but if I'm wrong, I want them to be able to call me out for that, but not just blindly defend me.
If you're biased, you can manage that and still be, like you said, open-minded. You can just take in all the information that you can and then make a well-informed opinion. I do feel like that breakup video was kind of all people needed to see to be like, oh, this does not sit right with me. Like we said in our other collab, that people that have no idea who Kyra and Oscar were, these big channels, H3H3 and, Charlie and all these commentary channels, I personally feel like that video was so bad that you can make an informed opinion just
Oh,
based
yeah.
on that.
You don't need to know their life. Like I said, you don't need to know their life or be a fly on the wall or know them personally or live with them or any of that stuff. You can base your opinion off of what they say in that video because it's what they say. It's their truth. It's not like people are trying to, grasp for straws or anything like that. It's literally what they said in the video, and that's where they're basing their opinion from.
And if people can watch them for 7 years and say, I've been watching them for 7 years, so I know them really well, and I know that Kyra is a great person, I know that Oscar's a great person, then someone can also say, I've been watching them for 7 years, and I think that Kyra and Oscar are both awful people.
Exactly. Yep. Because, and that, again, that whole argument that, oh, well, you don't really know them, so how could you say this about them, is, or you don't live with them, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's a dumb argument because you don't know them either, technically, by your own logic. You don't live with them. You're not near them. You're not friends with them. Nothing. You watch their vlogs just like we watch their vlogs. So you can say they're good all you want, but if you can do that, we can say that they're bad, and it's the same, and it's all valid. Like, if you think they're good, fine, but we can also see the negative and point out the negative.
Everybody always says social media isn't real. And what they mean is it's curated, which means that it is highly selected and edited in order to portray a certain image. So if we're seeing this, I mean, it's kind of like the tip of the iceberg. If this is what they're including and they're leaving in and they're putting out there, imagine everything that's, just below the surface. Imagine what we don't see.
Their community will even use, well, you don't know what happens off camera. It's like, neither do you. And by the way, that argument works for only bad things. People don't go, oh, well, you don't know what happens behind camera. They could be really good people and they, are pieces of shit on the vlogs. No, what they do is they show a perception that they're good people or a great family or whatever. And then we come in and go, well, we see these inconsistencies or these plot holes or lies and manipulation. And we go, this is a problem we see, and it could be worse off camera. That's the off camera thing or behind the scenes only applies in a negative light and not a positive light.
Yeah, because these people aren't going to go and donate thousands of dollars to charity and not talk about it. They're not going to, be a fashion influencer that is constantly buying clothes, but then behind the scenes, donates them to, people that are in need of, high quality clothes or whatever. They're not going to not show that, or at least talk about it or mention it.
Yep. Yeah, well, unless you're getting paid for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
yeah. It's not like Karen Swan is wearing Gucci just on the vlog. She's also wearing Gucci in real life. I just love when people use the argument. It's just so easy to crush people when they say that.
It's so easy to poke holes in it. Come on, guys! Like critical thinking. Where is it? Let's go. Come on.
That's the thing we're talking about, biases. So they're willing to ignore or even just enable or just forgive and forget, even if they were the ones ripped off by them because they're their favorite YouTuber.
Well, I think it's about time to wrap it up. What do you say?
Yeah, sounds good. Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. I had a good time with you on our last collab. This one's awesome, and we're gonna have another one coming.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy these kind of like hangout talk sessions.
I appreciate you having me on, and I want to be back on soon.
Yeah, so guys, remember Apoc's channel will be listed down below, and so will our first collab. So make sure you go and check those out and go subscribe to Apoc.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Oh yeah, like and subscribe. I'm so not used to saying that because I don't say it on my channel, but go like and subscribe Apoc's channel.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got for you. See ya.
All right, bye guys.